Hey guys, I'm back with a book review of this hunka bookish love, Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. I read A Game of Thrones earlier this summer. My review is also on the channel, so you can look for that if you haven't seen it. But this is the second book in the series. It was published 3 years after A Game of Thrones was, and this is part of the overarching series of A Song of Ice and Fire, and it is also what is being made currently into a TV show on HBO. The second season was based off of this book. Now, this book is 1,009 pages, 969 of that being story, the rest of it being appendix, and yes, I had to read everything because I need to read the appendix, and actually challenged myself to try and remember who everyone was, because there are a lot of characters that are talked about in that appendix. But anyway, so the plot line of this story takes off right after Game of Thrones ends. Getting a little spoilish here, but once Ned Stark is killed and Joffrey is declared as being not of actual kingly blood. He's basically not Robert Baratheon's son. He's the son of twincest with Cersei and Jaime Lannister. Then all of a sudden there's kings everywhere in the land, hence A Clash of Kings. There's King in the North, Robb. Balon Greyjoy, father of Theon, is trying to become a king. You have Renly and Stannis who are claiming rights to the throne. And then of course you have Daenerys, who's like way off over here. No one knows about her really. And she wants to take over, but she just can't. So that's why it's A Clash of Kings and one queen. The story focuses once again in that same fashion where you kind of get different points of views from different characters. There's only, I believe, one new character who's introduced for their point of view, Davos, who's the Onion Knight. He's with Stannis, so that's how you kind of see Stannis Baratheon's side of things. I'm obviously not going to get into too much detail because I don't want to spoil a lot of the stuff for the people who haven't read, but there's obviously a lot of large things that happen here. There's a lot of death and political intrigue, which I find extremely entertaining and is mostly the work of Tyrion Lannister, which makes his chapters so much more interesting. In terms of people whose storylines I like to follow the most, Tyrion is probably one of the most interesting just because he is so involved with political intrigue, and he's also always getting the short end of the stick, and not in the sense that he's actually short, but he does some really valiant things in the story, and then he kind of gets screwed over a lot. I still really like Arya. I like her attitude on life. Sansa gets a little bit better in the sense that she's not completely in love with Joffrey Baratheon anymore because she realizes that he's a complete asshole. Jon's part was really interesting in the beginning, and then it just sort of fell off. And I have seen the TV show, so I did have certain expectations, which obviously you shouldn't, but I had certain expectations about what was going to happen in the story, and there was some stuff that was switched around. I have started to read A Storm of Swords. I'm not that far into it right now, but there's already things I was like, oh, that was in the season of the show versus this now, and certain parts are extended that were not that big in this book, that were very big in the show, but I don't know, it worked. In terms of characters that I don't give a crap about, basically. Catelyn, I believe, is how you actually pronounce her name, though because there's an E in it, I say it Caitlyn because that's how it looks. So Catelyn Stark. Her storyline is so boring most of the time. She's always complaining about her, oh my god, my kids are dead, when they're actually all alive. And I just don't like her point of view. It's really dull. Daenerys still annoys the heck out of me. She's getting a little bit better. She talks about her dragons a bit, but she doesn't talk about them as much as she does in the TV show. And in the TV show, she really annoys me because she's always like, I will take what is mine with fire and blood and my dragons. It's like her 2 lines in the TV show, and that's like all she ever says, really. And at least in the book, she says it a lot less, and therefore is less annoying. In terms of the new one, Davos, that was introduced, it had its good points where I was like, okay, I'm learning new things about Stannis. Melisandre is this red priestess, and she dapples with magic and whatnot, and she does some weird stuff, and you follow that through Davos's point of view. And in the TV show, when that particular part happened and seeing the actual visual of it, I was just like, oh my god, what is going on right now? But then reading the book, I was a little more like, okay, I got it. And it was obviously less graphic because I was just picturing what I had kind of seen before. I didn't think this book was any better than a Game of Thrones, personally. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, there was a lot of dull points where I was kind of like, I'm really tired of hearing you talk about this, can we move on? And I am really excited for Storm of Swords because that is like the fan favorite book, and there's already a different point of view in it that I haven't experienced yet, and I kind of, you know, getting that. I do like hearing from some of the other people, like Arya and Tyrion, obviously. And it's also getting into territory that I don't know because the TV show for that season has not aired yet, so I am experiencing the series in a new way now. Obviously, the recommendation goes out to anybody who did read a Game of Thrones and enjoys it. It's still a good book. It's just not as strong as a Game of Thrones, although there are points that I think are stronger. Overall, it is not really a better book. It's at par, if not slightly below. That concludes my review. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, if you like books and like hearing us talk, you can subscribe, and our Twitters and Goodreads links are below in the doobly-doo. If you've read Clash of Kings and you have a few things to say about it, feel free to leave a comment because it's obviously a good talking point. There's a lot of information that you can discuss with people. So, yes, feel free to leave a comment if you have anything to say, and I'll see you guys later.